Hey guys, this is here bringing you another video and a welcome to game 1 of our latest master promo. Today we are playing Veigar, and we're into a Kiana. From memory, I did actually play this today. I think this Kiana was a one-trick, I believe. And yeah, Kiana's, I don't know, they're scary in some degree. In the fact that I'd say Kiana is a very strong champion. She can one-combo you still to this day with the durability update. She can still do it. And she's a bit unique in the fact that normally assassins are purely countered by grouping and team fighting. Although that is true, and like at the beginning of this game, I said to my audience, I was like, their comp's not great because neither team's got an AD carry because both of them are AP carries the bot lane. But the enemy team has technically got 2 assassins because Rek'Sai nowadays is an assassin. She builds as an assassin. So grouping is our best friend this game, but Kiana's one of those unique assassins that her ultimate is an insane AoE, massive stun, CC, and damage. So don't discount Kiana's from team fights, but in theory, the actual act of an assassin being in a team fight should be a counter in itself. Now, just reminding everybody, that I'm uploading a couple of replay commentaries, mainly just because, again, the stress of being in Master Promo. This was my 4th Master Promo. Obviously, we succeeded in the first Master Promo. Then we demoted, which is normal. I expected to be demoted. Then we had 2 more Master Promos, and we failed both of them, unfortunately, in unfortunate circumstances as well, you could say. So this is the 4th one. They do say 4th time lucky, is it? No, wait, that's 3rd. But obviously, we weren't 3rd time lucky. 4th time is what we're trying to do. So, yeah, the stress wasn't good. I'm a bit stressed today as it is of me recording this. Again, this is the day before my birthday. You're watching this on my birthday. But again, I don't want to get into too much details, but we've had some plumbing issues with the house, so I've been stressed about that. Hopefully, it's fixed. I think it's fixed. It got fixed a bit earlier today, so hopefully that holds. But yeah, so I had that kind of going on in my mind during this. And I will say, I was also, and I know this sounds excusey based, but I will say, if you in the Twitch stream, you obviously get to experience a bit more things. But if you're in the Twitch stream, you will know. Unfortunately, after this game, I actually had to go throw up. I was feeling rough during this game. And it does seem to be linked. I had a coffee, like an iced coffee, and that seems to be a trigger of mine occasionally. So that was unfortunate, not exactly what you want to do. Kiana doing an okay trade, but then we getting a better trade in the end, landing the cage, so that's lovely. So obviously what we're looking for here, pretty much like most Veigar games, is scale. And that's the thing. It's different mentalities. Now, obviously some players have one play style. They do that play style every game. They don't change their play style. I have a few different play styles. If you watched the Z game a few games ago, I can pop off, play an assassin, get fed in lane phase, and roam and carry a game. I can do that. I actually really enjoy playing battle mages. They're one of my favorite types of champion. And a lot of the battle mages in the game nowadays do require a bit of time to scale. So that is what we're looking to do, is survive lane phase, a relative okay amount. Don't really die. Yeah, might accept get a bit behind here or there in farm, but that's probably normal anyway for me. Is just kind of have a useful lane phase. Now, I do make a mistake here. Mana, I definitely should have waited for full mana, especially if I was TPing back. Obviously, I did want to have the cannon, and if I waited for full mana, I probably wouldn't have got it. So you could say maybe it's okay, but returning to lane, using teleport, not having full mana is never the best situation anyway. Now, what I should probably look to do, because I did not base with full mana, I probably should have just not used a lot of abilities for a while, regen the mana, and then I would have been able to stay around with full mana. But obviously, instead, as you can see, I used a lot of my mana, and I'm already down to like a 1/3. Not ideal, because realistically, when you're playing a scaling champion like Veigar, you don't always want to go back and buy, because the more you're backing and buying, the more your lane opponent isn't backing and buying, you're actually getting behind, unfortunately. So that it is what it is. So Kiana, she knows she's got prio right now. She knows I can't really do that much to her. She's got freedom, I'd say, in this lane, which again, you never want to give true freedom to an assassin. It's what I spoke about in that Z game in particular. Obviously, Veigar is a mid laner. He belongs in mid, but in that Z game, it's what I spoke about. Playing something weird like AP Zeri, you may not necessarily be playing bad. You may not necessarily be feeding or whatever, But playing something like AP Zeri against a decent player that is counter-picking it like a Zed, you're giving that player complete freedom. You don't want to do that. And the problem with something like Veigar is you are typically giving your lane opponent that freedom. Even though he is a mid laner, he deserves to be here, obviously, is because there's that scaling aspect of the champion you can't get away from. So you can tell by her stance, her gameplay, everything, this Qiyana is constantly wanting to engage on me. And again, it's that nature. She has to snowball lane more than I do. I know this, you know this. It's just what that champion wants to do. It was a surprise to me. You know, again, bot lane, they do go down, which was a bit weird. It was a bit of a surprise to me in some aspects to see a Qiyana mid. I don't remember if the player was a Qiyana mid player. I can check it right now because it's worth having a look. Or are they a jungle player? Nope, they are a one-trick Qiyana mid. So they are, well, they're a two-trick player, but one is better than the other. So 187 games of Qiyana with a 50.3% win rate. So just a positive win rate. And then Kassadin is their second two-trick. 121 games of Kassadin with a 48.8% win rate. So actually a negative win rate in over 100 games. That is not good. And then the next champion, you know, oh, they actually a two-trick? Yeah, the next champion has 2 games, which is a LeBlanc, and they've lost to both of those games. So very much a two-trick player. You know, maybe the way of it is they have their actual pick is Qiyana, but obviously some people ban Qiyana. She is pretty annoying. But to a lot of people, get a nice little CC there. And then she does a really funky ult. She's got an AP option. So here's a big combo. Bam. Nice little bit there. I did think my ulti might have killed the Rek'Sai, but it didn't, unfortunately. Unfortunately for us, though, the Swain moves. Now, I will say this was very tilting. So this is all happening. Right now, again, the Swain is at level 6. He doesn't have that much damage right now. I cage him off. Blitzcrank is over here. She's not moving. Now, I will just say, I'm in Master Promo. Most of my promos, I'm not expecting the best teammates. The fact that she did not move, to me, and, you know, let me know what you guys think, that was trolling. Like, to me. Again, I'd be genuinely interested to see what you guys think. Twitch chat did also kind of react in the fact of, like, going, what the hell? She had plenty of time to move. And if she moved, she probably would have killed the Blitzcrank, I'd want to say. I think she would at least kill the Blitzcrank. Swain goes for a big ulti play himself, gets rooted, but again, Seraphine's got no damage. So, yeah, that was a bit tilting. And I think at that point, because I was, by the way, trying to do live commentaries in these games, I think at that point I stopped doing the commentary. Like, just right there, I was like, nope, done. Because I want to get Master again. And when you know you get so internally angry or annoyed by that type of play, if I continue commentating and have to say out loud what's happening, I'm just going to tilt myself or frustrate myself even more. Because that's a weird psychological thing that I think I have definitely understood more as time has gone on, is I think doing live commentaries and makes me more tilted or makes me more annoyed than when I don't do them. Because it's the saying the things out loud is, if that Seraphine doesn't come over and helps, and I'm saying it out loud going, God, why didn't she come? Because I'm doing a commentary. I'm saying it out loud. I'm kind of affirming the point of why I'm annoyed. I know I'll be annoyed from that play regardless. Meanwhile, Olaf gets a nice kill on top lane. But if I don't have to say it out loud, I'm just kind of being quiet, I'm just playing the game, it's less in my head because I'm not saying the words out loud. So that's kind of the reasoning there, is why I stop sometimes doing the commentary, because it lets me kind of focus back up. Now, I go roam over, by the way, because I was like 100% expecting Rek'Sai to be doing Rift. Instead, Rek'Sai actually goes top lane. Now, I don't know if Rek'Sai was doing Rift and then stops doing it, because Fiora got killed in the 1v1 with Olaf, and yeah, I don't know. So Karma doing a weird walkies, and as you can see, the enemy team giving Qiyana a completely free kill, her first kill of the game. She also randomly uses Ignite for that. Not really sure why she does. That was 100% a dead Karma. But yeah, unfortunate to give free kills to a Qiyana, because again, naturally, she's a snowball intense champion. You don't want to give free kills to a snowball intense champ. So I go for an ulti, she flashes away, she uses her ult but doesn't hit anything. I Predator to see if I can catch her, but then she has the root element from the river. So again, unfortunate not to be able to get a chain or a return kill back, but it is what it is. So yeah, the Swain is looking very scary at this point. He's 302. Obviously, with Swain being kind of my modern main, if you want to say it that way, I know how strong that champion is. And I know I have shown how strong he is of getting kills early, but I also know he probably shouldn't get any kills in that bot lane. The fact that he's got, or sorry, Seraphine has got shields and heals, and Karma's got shields. One of, I'd say, Swain's early strengths is he actually can naturally poke people down and then go for the all-in. He shouldn't really be able to poke that lane down. So Seraphine dies again, by the way, with double sums available. Nearly killing that Rek'Sai, but not quite. And then this is an overstay. Like, you should not be continuing here. I am going to try and roam down to see if we can do anything, because if we don't, then Bel'Veth will probably end up dead. That was Swain ulti. How to counter Swain ulti, by the way, is run away from Swain. Does get hooked, does the Bel'Veth, and again, Kiana's here, obviously, and Bel'Veth will go down in the end. Unstoppable Swain, 502. So I will just say, from obviously we're still playing the game, we're still very much in it. We'll just say after this game, I did decide to ban Seraphine. That champion, to me, is... Again, I've never been a fan of the champion. I think people know that. I think a lot of people aren't a fan of that champion. But it does seem a lot of interesting players are playing it. And, yeah, I just kind of got fed up of having that in my games. Because I would say Seraphine now, they do get a nice shutdown. They're continuing the fight. The way that I would describe Seraphine, how do I say... I'd honestly potentially use the old Shaco meme. For those that don't know the old Shaco meme, nice shutdown by Karma. The old Shaco meme is your Shaco goes 0-10, doesn't know what he's doing on Shaco. The enemy Shaco is amazing and like it knows perfectly how to play Shaco. That to me kind of feels like what Seraphine has become. Is the enemy Seraphine is a player that actually knows Seraphine and knows how much damage she deals at any given time and actually uses her kit correctly. Your Seraphine that's on your team has only picked it up because it's apparently OP recently and has no idea what they're doing. I don't know if you guys have experienced that as well, but it's what I've been experiencing because, again, it's that nature of like, dude, my Seraphine is like, blah, but if the enemy team has it, you know, oh, they picked Seraphine. Damn, like, no one dies ever from the W and she lands really good ults. It's weird. And again, it's probably not true. A lot of these things in League of Legends are very much psychological and you kind of get imprinted on like a stereotype or something of that nature and you're like, oh, they're all the same. They're probably not. It's probably just, you know, it's that reinforcement of behavior that you're kind of noticing because it's slightly negative and you're reinforcing that more because it's affecting you negatively rather than positively. It's probably that, but I don't know. Enemy team tried to kill the Olaf, by the way. He did use double sums and his ulti, but he is not dead for now. And then what is wrong with the enemy team here is they're obviously still trying to kill him. And they go for some crazy overstay looking for the tower. They really overstay, and they're kind of, what I would say, is desperate for it. So Bel'Veth does a nice flash play. Not sure if Fiora is going to die. Doesn't go down, I don't think. And that will be the end of that. I do, by the way, I think just there, survive a Kiana all in. She was just waiting in a bush for a while. And I do end up surviving it, so that's nice. Going to return to mid and just continue to farm up as much as we possibly can, really. Obviously, Everfrost, the way to go on Veigar. There may have been, because like some people may go, was there any call or idea to go Crown this game? Because, you know, the the strength of Kiana is she can one-shot you. Is there an idea to go Crown? Because that gets rid of like the burst. I'd say no if you're confident for the rest of the game. It's rough for Veigar pre Mythic. It's definitely rough, and pre Zhonya's definitely helps. But when you get to that point, I think Crown then is wasted because Everfrost is a good counter to Kiana because she has to go in relative melee range, and you should be able to land an okay Everfrost. And then when you've got Zhonya's, you can try to avoid a lot of the burst with Zhonya's. So I don't think you need to invest your Mythic into it. We do try to go for the Kiana. I think we actually did get the stun. Oh, no, we didn't. The damage would have landed if I did. But yeah, I just don't think Everfrost, realistically, like, when Everfrost first got announced, I think a lot of people, including myself, was like, that's a really strong item. The more that it's been about, I think it's not. Because the player base, again, the player base of League, even though, you know, sometimes it's surprising what people do, the player base of League is smart. And what I mean by that is, oh, Everfrost gives you crazy damage reduction for 1.5 seconds or something after it activates. So what people literally will do, especially at this ranking, is they'll proc it in any way they possibly can, they'll wait for it, and then they'll re-engage 5 seconds later when it's on cooldown. Like, that's the point. It won't be used. Or, you know, they won't all-in you when you have Everfrost available. What's the point? Anyway, enemy team, 3 people mid lane. Kiana's got even no mana at this stage, but apparently it doesn't matter. I then do get Blitzcrank hooked, unfortunately. Get shield by Karma. I do land a really... Well, actually, I thought I landed the cage, but I guess it disappeared. I thought that could have been clean up on Isle Belveth, but apparently not. But we get a 1-for-1. Shame that there's 3 people randomly mid lane, but I will say, I've spoken about it before. Why is there 3 people mid lane? Okay, so the nature of it is if your support roams, or a support roams, meanwhile Fiora kills Olaf by a dive, and then Belveth does this really weird dive too. Not really sure what was going on here. Weird dives, don't do them. But the nature of roaming, especially supports, is if one support roams, so if Blitzcrank roams, or if Karma roams, what that's only going to really do is pretty much make the other support roam. For 99% of players, you'll feel more pressured as a bot laner if, oh damn, their supports roamed mid lane and killed the mid laner once. Oh damn, they've done it again. Oh, maybe I should go do that. And then when you do that, it then makes more people want to be mid, because the increased chance of getting kills is no longer in bot lane, because normally it's bot lane has the increased chance of kills because there's always 2 people in bot. But if the support's roaming mid lane, well, then suddenly the 2 people, the increased chance of kills, is no longer in bot. It's actually in mid. So that's where you'll see, oh, if supports start to roam to mid lane, that's where you'll also see junglers start going to mid way more than any other role, because the chance of kills goes up in mid other than other places. So that's why, again, really bad for a Veigar of all champions. If that was Swain, I wouldn't mind, because Swain can at this stage take a fight. Obviously, the Swain's on the enemy team. But yeah, Swain could take a fight, or even hell, a Nivea at this stage could probably take a fight. Veigar at this stage, not great. Not great. I haven't even got my mythic yet, obviously. So that's kind of the big unfortunate thing, is of all champions to be on when 3 people are mid lane at before 20 minutes, we're playing one of probably the worst champions that can deal with it. Anyway, we get a control ward there, and then Kiana instantly does a ward against it, which I did find a little bit peculiar. I was a bit like, how, what? Like, of all places, why is she warding there? Now, again, we know the type of player. She was hyper aggressive. Didn't really, again, there wasn't, how do I say? There didn't seem to be much thought with this Kiana. Her instinct was, I'm just going to go in. Now, they do get the Belveth. Seraphine half lands an okay ultimate. Enemy team, though, as you can clearly see, has clear advantage right now. We really don't have much damage, which is unfortunate. They can just kind of walk in our jungle and do anything they want. Again, I did actually think at one stage, like, was Veigar the right pick this game? Because obviously, I believe in Champ Select, the Seraphine was already locked in. Meanwhile, enemy team really desperate for all of this. Unfortunately, I think I missed my cue there, but Olafsson, he mucks up his ultimate a little bit, by the way. I do go for the Swain. He lands a double kill, has the burn, and obviously he's very fed already this stage. He's got 2 dot items, so he gets a few of us, and now Olaf is definitely on the back foot. He gets the shield, but he will go down. So again, the game is not looking good, which again was disappointing. We're also 0-3 on Veigar, so not even a great performance by me too. Anyway, Belveth trying to get Swain. And by the way, in that whole fight, Swain did not use exhaust. He didn't even use his ulti. He's just surviving with the healing. Belveth trying so hard, but then gets flashed on by Fiora. And the Belveth, sorry, does go down. So, bit of a tilt moment. Not looking good, as you can tell. But, again, try to stay in it as much as we can. The thing that I was trying to really hold on to, because, again, when the game is falling apart, I'm 0-3. The thing that I was personally trying to say, and I did say out loud several times on the stream, was they do have 2 assassins. So the moment that they have 2 assassins, I know, as I said in the early game, Kiana is a bit different. Her team fight isn't absolutely terrible, but apart from her ult, she sucks in team fights. If you don't team fight near structures, that's going to hurt her in walls. I did, in my mind, just was like, if we just get to that big team fight stage, there is a pretty good chance. We've got Belveth, that's kind of like a Master Yi, that if you survive the early, she can kind of pop off. Veigar Cage is always good in a team fight. Everfrost can lock people down, and locking any of the enemy team down is going to be pretty good. Olaf is scary if he can kind of pop off, if he continuously attack people with his new ulti that can stay up forever, kind of like Swain ult. And, you know, one thing also is, again, they're double assassins into our comp. Not just the fact that they've got double assassins, which is weaker into team fights. We have Karma and Seraphine. So in theory, in the beginning of a team fight, if Karma uses her ult and then uses E, and then Seraphine has double W, we are all getting healed and shielded for a lot. That's also really hard to deal with for the enemy team. So that was kind of what I was trying to hold on to, is just get to team fights if we can. Again, it's not looking good. Yes, we're ahead on dragons, which is not bad, technically, but we're down on kills, we're down on gold by like 5,000-6,000 gold at this stage. So that ain't great. But to keep our heads into the game as much as you can. So Olaf and Belveth having a bit of a play. Enemy team. Oh, but you know, if you're wondering what happened there, again, I will replay it. Really bad timing. So this is where I was struggling. I mentioned I had to throw up at the end of this game. My throat was actually going off a craze, and I had to cough. And I was starting to deal with that cough, and I wasn't even paying attention. And hell, I might have been hooked anyway. But I literally, the moment I got killed, I was like, right, be right back, have to cough. And I actually had to like do a burp cough. It's not pretty, so I get rid of my microphone, I get rid of my camera, because it kind of looks like I'm throwing up when I cough. And that's what happened there. So that was really bad timing. But as I said, maybe even if I didn't have to cough there, I might have still been dead. But that was just not fully paying attention because I had to deal with that instead. Hence why you saw me try basically land no abilities whatsoever. Blitzcrank getting engaged on. Belveth also getting engaged on. Belveth goes down. Seraphine doesn't get a kill. And that, I think, is the end of that. They are trying to do some DPS to the Swain, but he's so tanky at this stage of the game that, you know, again, it's not looking too good. Dragon is also coming up. I haven't got the dragon timers on. There we go. Dragon is coming up in 44 seconds. I believe, yeah, it's a Hextech dragon map, I believe. So, yeah, not good games so far, as you can clearly tell. What I also wanted to do, by the way, just so if you know, obviously we're in Master Promo right now, so I do want to show the games in Master Promo. I do think people enjoy seeing like how does a Master Promo go, because obviously the last Master Promo we went 0-3, just 0 wins, 3 losses, demoted straight away. And I gave you guys that mini update at the beginning of the video. You guys liked the update, you appreciated that from what I could tell, which is good. But the better version of that is actually doing the games. Even though it's not a live commentary, you're still actually seeing what's happening. So hopefully, again, you guys don't mind that too much. So just reminding everybody, you've got a couple more replay kind of games to go. The next game will be a replay like this, and then the game after that will be a POV commentary. So at least you'll have like the in-game perspective, and then there's other stuff after that. So anyway, fight breaking out. I think I'm teleporting here, but it's just bugs you can't see. There I am. So we're predatoring, we're looking for a pick. We get a nice cage there, lock the enemy team up into the Everfrost. We get our kill on Kiana, stopping Fiora doing anything, and that is finally the moment we were looking for. Really good cage, if I do say myself. It locked the enemy team in. They had no choice other than having to fight, and we had the number advantage at that stage. So that worked. That's a step in the right direction, and that now is enabling us to look for the Baron, and that is so far a not bad turn. So Baron is up. Obviously, Belveth being the champion she is, she does kill Barons pretty damn quick. And I actually kill the Baron, which, again, I don't really want to have it, but it's fine. Fiora was looking for, like, to stop somebody. And then this is a really weird thing. Yay, she stops somebody, and then she just gets killed. Not sure about that one. That was actually her first death, believe it or not. But yeah, a bit of an odd thing for that Fiora to do. Maybe in a 1v1 she could have killed somebody if, like, the Belveth was the last left, but... Luckily, I will say that both Belveth and Olaf stopped their bases, because if one of them was like, oh, I'm leaving, bye, and the other one didn't, then maybe that person would have died. But I don't think Fiora would have killed Olaf at this stage of the game. I think Olaf might be a bit too strong. But anyway, that was a bit of a turn. So that's like the start to a nice moment. Did require my teleport, but again, that's literally what teleport is for. One of my weaknesses as a player, and you know, every player's got quite a few weaknesses, but one of my weaknesses as a player, and I've always said it, is I have trust issues with my team. I don't like side laning, and that's one of the things that you probably should do as a mid lane player, is eventually go to side lane, especially if you're running TP, and that's where you can build up your solo XP. You're level 16, you're ahead. I don't do that very much because I have trust issues. Whenever I do that and I don't have TP or whatever, oh, my team's caught, game over. So that's why I don't like doing it. But that's the moment that when you do have teleport up, you can teleport to go help a fight. So, yeah. So we get the tower. We had some people bot lane, but they don't die, at least, but they have a bit of a fight. I haven't obviously got a kill yet. It's worth noting that. I'm not, as they say, on the board. Enemy team, again, I think the enemy team at this stage probably won't be panicked. They're still very much ahead. They have, you know, a 9-1 Swain. That's a pretty nice place to be in. But we are going to look for any type of big CC. Like, again, that's why I mentioned our strength. Bam! Nice cage on Fiora into the big combo. And we do end up getting that kill for Olaf. He does get hooked. I think he does have ult. He did. He could have ulted earlier, which is a bit weird. I caged the Swain. I get exhausted. I then get comboed by everything. And I end up dead. Meanwhile, again, Bel'Veth is split pushing. So I will say, I don't think it's necessary for Bel'Veth to split push. But I also know, for whatever reason, there was like internal raging going on in our team. I can't remember who it was. Was it Seraphine? Seraphine and somebody was pinging each other throughout the whole game. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Karma. No, I think it was Seraphine. Seraphine was spam pinging the Bel'Veth, and Bel'Veth was spam pinging Seraphine. So there was obviously some form of disagreement going on. Bel'Veth, though, did finally return using that flash. Does get the kill, which is good, because then that enables the big ulti into then hopefully the Blitzcrank kill. Does a bit of a cleanup, which isn't too bad. But I will say, you know, what you've already seen this game is I think our strength is grouping. Grouping in an open team fight. You don't want to group like here because that's the strength of Qiyana. Group in an open team fight. And that's where we can use Veigar Cage really effectively. Again, Veigar, yes, he's a DPS mage. He's a burst mage, all of that. But he is so effective at team fights of just be like, this whole zone, this big area, you can't walk through it or you can't walk out of it. You are controlled. And that is really strong. So, yeah, do not underestimate, obviously, that as well. Okay, so, returning in mid lane. Again, me watching myself this game. Again, this is where I can be a bit more self-critical because I'm not actively playing. I needed a side lane more. I'm going up to top lane now, and that's literally what I have to do. I'm matching levels with the Seraphine, who's the bot lane carry. I should be ahead of that. So again, clearly, we've not had the best game here, obviously. Like, yes, there have been little things that have happened, that being outnumbered and stuff like that. But still, like, I shouldn't be level 14. Like, realistically, I should be at least level 15. And that's the unfortunate thing of not side laning as much as I should. I do have teleport available now, so you are seeing me actively side lane. And one thing I think I do here, which I think is fine, maybe most people would have stayed and pushed one more wave. Maybe that would have got me closer to level 16. I don't do that. I early TP over to the dragon. The reason why I early TP over there, meanwhile Bel'Veth got caught by a hook, does use the E. Seraphine ult, not the best ulti. I do get the big ulti, though, on the Rek'Sai. Fight continuing. Swain, and this, by the way, was a bit of a tilt moment as well. The fight's going okay. Olaf's popping off. He's cleaning up Olaf. Olaf runs away. Now, obviously, to counter Swain, what you're supposed to do is run away from him. I go in melee range, and my bot lane gets caught out as well. We all kind of misplayed that, including myself, 100%. But what also misplayed, I will say, was the Olaf. Because if Olaf stayed on that guy, he would have died. But the Olaf felt the need to chase the Blitzcrank around. Bit of a tilter. Again, he's still strong. He's still fighting. He's going to try his best, obviously. But obviously, yeah, the Swain is very strong. Luckily, I will say, he gets the kill, and then Olaf's W now includes a shield. So he does manage to clean the fight. We officially ace the enemy team. And just remember, this is where our strength of team fight does exist. That was a terrible team fight because Bel'Veth, the start of that fight is Bel'Veth got caught. She got Blitzcrank hooked. Managed to survive a bit longer than she probably should have because she got her, I think, E off, which is the damage reduction. Kind of like meditate for Master E, I guess. And then, you know, she survived a bit longer than she should. That started bad. I played it bad, Seraphine played it bad, and Karma played it bad. That Seraphine's ult wasn't amazing, and we all just basically stayed next to the Swain. If you watch back the fight, or you remember the fight, I caged, I hit the Swain. What we should have done, including myself, is when I hit that, run away from him. Like, legit, just run for high hills. Do not be next to that Swain. Even if he's stunned, if he's still draining you, he is maintaining his demonic power. He is maintaining his ultimate. So when he's stunned, that is your chance to run. So his ultimate falls off. And then if his ultimate fell off, probably maybe one of us might have died. Maybe none of us would have died. That was what we needed to do. So again, I fully admit I played that fight bad, because when I stunned him, I didn't also run away. I went next to him, which that was definitely not the move. I did, by the way, I thought we probably could have killed him regardless. If you're like, where was my mental there? I did think we probably could have dealt with him, but apparently not. We do not have the DPS. Now, for those that also are wondering, why did I play Veigar? Why didn't you play Swain, Huz? Because Swain seems to be your pick at the moment. There was actual reasoning behind it. So the reasoning behind why I picked Veigar over Swain, because Swain would work perfectly fine into Qiyana as well, is because we had a Seraphine. So there has been that Reddit thread that has stuck in my mind ever since I saw it, that Liandry's does not stack. This is something that I did not know. It's something that most players do not know. If you have one Liandry's caster champ, you don't technically want another one, because you are basically hurting each other's damage because you've both bought Liandry's. Meanwhile, Bel'Veth, by the way, level 17, which is pretty good. Hook does come down. Karma goes down. Big Seraphine ultimate over the top. Big Silas, stunned by me as well. You notice, what am I doing here? I'm ignoring the Swain. You look, literally, I'm caging, and I'm like, see ya, bye. I'm just going to leave you alone. Seraphine flashes away, and his ult's gone off. And now, the fact that he doesn't have his ulti, now re-engage on the Swain. That is the weakness of Swain. So we are going to CC him down any second. Bam, there we go. So we do eventually deal with him. We do near enough ace them. The Blitzcrank is alive, but the team fights are now going better because they've got 2 assassins that are falling off in team fights, and the Swain is scary. But I even was saying it on stream, I'm legit ignoring that Swain. I'm going to cage him, sure, and then run away. I'm not going to actively fight him while he's got ultimate available. And that's how you beat Swain. But yeah, just to explain, so I didn't play Swain because Seraphine was locked in. No, I picked for Seraphine. So in Champ Select, I was first pick mid lane. I was like, I don't want to be first pick mid. Can I pick for somebody? And the Seraphine was like, yo, give me Seraphine. And even though I don't like the pick, I would prefer having a Seraphine and not blind picking. So I picked her Seraphine. And then when I realized, wait a minute, if I go Swain, we have 2 Liandry's champions. I was like, I want to do something else. So that's where I went Veigar, because obviously if I wanted to go Anivia, even though I'm a bit burnt out of the champion, she's the Liandry's champion. So if I'd say my main, let's be honest, my main 3 champions right now is Veigar, Anivia, still probably, and Swain. The only non-Liandry's champion of those 3 at the moment is Veigar. So that is why I actually went the champ. Now, again, weird play, weird mistakes creeping in. The Bel'Veth continue to do odd things throughout this game, by the way. Good W by the Fiora, by the way. I think I do end up killing her. I do. I'm Zonyazing. Olaf is going to do work. I try to get my cage up, and I do. Big cage, to be honest, because it kept the enemy team straight on the Olaf, and that's what you exactly want. This Olaf is very strong. That was a better Seraphine ult. She lands it on 2. It stops the Qiyana doing anything for quite a while. And yeah, the Swain is continuously doing it, but that's the point. Olaf can deal with him. And I do, by the way, potentially think, and sorry that I've not noticed for a while, the scoreboard has definitely bugged. So if I remove it, bring it back up, there you go. So that's actually the update. If it's looked like no one's farmed or anything for like 10 minutes, that's why it was bugged. So we're actually at this point, so I actually do have kills. I'm 3-7-13. So, you know, 3-7 I'm not happy with, but 13 assists isn't too bad. Considering the game hasn't gone well for me. But Olaf doing very well, 14-4, 1-6 Fiora. Bel'Veth has recovered a bit, but again, as you can see there, making weird mistakes, getting caught quite a lot. Because just reminding, she got caught here, and then she just got caught there. So that's the point, is this game is where, like, mentality, you can kind of shift into being a lot more positive, because this game is still not going perfect for us. It's not flawless. The Bel'Veth in the last 2 big fights has got caught and really not done anything major in the last 2 fights. So then, what the mentality goes to is, if Bel'Veth just plays average and doesn't get caught anymore, we should win easily. Like, that's the point, because we're winning these fights, ultimately, even though it's not going that well. Like, or in theory, it's not going that well. Anyway, I think I cage into the pit. I do. We get the dragon stolen, hilariously. So Bel'Veth didn't even smite it. Enemy team now on the big one. Big Seraphine ultimate, much better than she's done previously. Cage locking everybody in, or even stunning some people. Big ultimate over there on the Swain. Kill him. And now the Qiyana will go down. So this is the point, is yes, unfortunately the dragon got stolen and that's not good, but we have such a big advantage in these team fights, it's practically impossible to lose. And that is partially because our AoE, it's also our CC, the Veigar cage, the Seraphine ult. Olaf obviously is incredibly strong. And again, the Karma Shield and Seraphine W combo is pretty obnoxious. So that is kind of what is ultimately making this game not that hard. So I do, by the way, go for this a little bit. Again, mind not in the best place, has to be said. Try our best. We do get the Everfrost on Rek'Sai, but we didn't get the kill. So that wasn't great. And again, I fully open. I had put my hands up and say, did not play this game amazingly well. Nice double root by Seraphine. Should enable a kill or two. Olaf popping off. But again, this is my point, is every now and then I will upload games even though I've not played very good, mainly because I want you guys to see, the Master Promo. I want you to see the games that we're in. And that is game 1 of Master Promo. Not ideal, not the game that we really wanted to start the Master Promo with. We did not play that well, but we did better later on. We did start to land better cages and getting a couple kills. Seraphine as well, because remember, my bot lane got destroyed this game. They also got better too. And that is basically sometimes the lesson is, should they be feeding a Swain in the early game in bot lane? Probably not. Should Swain be 9-1 about 20 minutes into the game? Probably not. But our comp came to us. Like, we beat the enemy team. Yeah, Olaf got very fed, but honestly, I think we beat the enemy team mainly because of comp. Is they had 2 assassins. You can see the Rek'Sai, trying to build like Death Dance Bruiser, but ultimately Prowlers, Serpents, and all that's assassin. Their double assassin fell off. Fiora didn't have a very good game, which is always going to hurt. And yes, Swain is scary, but then we started just playing around the Swain, dealing with the assassins in team fights because they're easy to deal with, and then just going at the end of the fight, oh, okay, let's now deal with the Swain. And obviously Blitzcrank isn't great. Like, Blitzcrank's a pretty... I'd stay away from Blitzcrank if I was you, if you're playing solo queue actively, but that's just me. Anyway, that's going to be it. That was game 1 of promo. Again, not played my best. Fully know that. But wanted to show it. Game 1, get a win at least. And that is, again, sometimes the best thing in the world is when you know you're not playing the best, but you manage to get that win. It's seeing the victory screen as it is now, as you can see. Sometimes, even though, I will say this game I got a bit tilted, seeing the victory screen can relax you, like, completely. It sometimes can de-tilt you instantly. I will say I probably wasn't de-tilted straight away. I think I had a bit of a break after this game. Again, I had to go throw up, unfortunately, because I was having a bad reaction to a coffee or something. But at least we get the W. So next item would have been Banshees, by the way, to ultimately get rid of any chance of being randomly Blitzcrank hooked, because that was always a threat. But there we go. Game 1 of Master Promo. And hilariously, what I will say, which I do find funny, is if you have watched all the content and all that, I've ultimately been very happy with how we've been playing in this season, really. I've been very, very happy. We're doing a lot of carry performances. What's annoying to me is I will sometimes lose huge carry performances, but then I'll win games like this. And trust me, it's one of the biggest frustrations I have. It sometimes is like, what? Like, I can't win if you remember a week ago, we went 17-1 on Anivia, and I just could not carry my team enough. But games that I go 4-8 on Veigar, it's like, well, we get the win. It's like, what? It's weird. Potentially, and I will say, there might actually be something in it that we could dive a little bit deeper on. And the reason why is something like Anivia goes 17-1, yes, can ultimately carry, but who's letting you down? Well, it could be a Draven or a Lucian who doesn't scale very well, but I play scaling champions. So even though I'm 4-8, I'm still being useful if I don't have a good early game. That could be the mentality behind it a little bit, because I'm playing a champion, it's not going well early, but I'm still going to be useful later. If I was playing, instead of Veigar mid, I play Renekton mid, completely different story, because if I don't win the early game, well then I'm definitely not useful later, but Veigar still is useful later. So that may be the mentality of it, because I will, even though I could be a bit tilted or a bit salty, I will still try to win, especially if I'm in a promo. I'll still try to do something good. I'll still try to land a good cage or a good stun on Anivia or a good charm on Ari. I'll still try to do that, even if I'm not having the best game myself. But anyway, that's going to be it. If you guys enjoyed, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal